President Obama recently signed a border security bill allocating $600 million in emergency funding to help secure the border. But is it enough to stop illegal immigration? I'm Brandy Malloy for PJTV, and we're here at the border of Arizona and Mexico at the United Border Coalition Tea Party rally to find out why the Tea Party movement has gotten involved in the illegal immigration issue.
We're here on the border because once again our government, their moral compass is messed up.
Not for you showing up, sitting here in the heat, fanning yourselves, making a difference with your voices being heard. We would still just be a handful of legislators and some people suffering on the border.
Together, we will protect and secure America.
Recently, Obama signed for $600 million in funding to go towards border control and border policy. Do you think that's enough, and what is your solution?
Brandy, Washington is engaged in border cosmetics. Now, $600 million sounds like a lot until you consider the fact that Mr. Obama pushed for an $800 billion stimulus plan and a wrong-headed socialized medicine plan that's going to cost in the trillions. $600 million is too little too late, and it is designed solely for political consumption, not for sound policy initiatives or meaningful policy change.
I have yet to see this administration do anything that wasn't based on campaign policy strategy of some sort.
I don't think it's enough, but I think it's a step in the right direction. I think it's proof that they're listening to our Governor Brewer, Senate Bill 1070, and to the Tea Party movement. As long as people are active and vocal, the government has to listen.
I look at this wall and I say to myself, even at 66, I can scale this wall if I want to. So the wall will not stop them. You need humans, you need personnel along the wall.
It's not just bodies. You have to give them a directive that allows them to protect the citizens here. And in the past, they haven't been allowed to do that. They've been told, if you get fired upon, turn around and run. And I think that's really the wrong message, because that message gets across this border. And they hear, well, yeah, there's officers there, but they're not allowed to do anything. And pretty soon our officers are sitting ducks.
How do we secure the border? What is the solution, and who's responsible for securing it?
Well, we know the federal government is responsible to secure the border. What it looks like, I don't know the answer to that. You know that in California they have a two-tiered wall that seems to be doing the trick in California. It may be unique to the geographical area. We know we need more people on the border. The Border Patrol is way too small. Maybe it is the drones. It's a combination of all of those things, but we have enough people that can get the job done if they focus on getting it done the right way.
Our government is not supporting laws already on the books. They need to start doing that. They need to finish the fence exactly like they said that they were going to. That they wanted all the way to the border. They haven't finished that. So they need to enforce laws we already have. They don't need to pass new laws.
I'm standing just a few hundred yards away from where the rally is taking place today. And as you can see from the incomplete fence, this is just how insecure our borders are. And that's just how easy it is to go from Mexico and to the United States.
The federal government needs to do a few things. Obviously, you need more infrastructure, which is, probably more than this. But you need some infrastructure so that the problem is lessened. So the areas where you can cross are easier to control. That requires a lot less bodies to be down here on the border. But we do need greater numbers of people, and they need a directive that allows them to do their job. But also they need the proper training and the proper equipment on their persons. You've got to give them the technology they need to do the surveillance, and also the equipment they need to enforce the law if need be. And it's kind of a technology, infrastructure, and manpower package that needs to happen, but it has to happen from the federal government.
Because we have such a dangerous situation on this border, we need to have our standing military. With all due respect to the Guard, we're going to need elements of our standing military working here to supplement the Border Patrol, because something is fundamentally wrong when New York City has twice as many cops on the beat as the Border Patrol has agents to patrol our borders north and south. The other thing that we have to do is make sure that we really have teeth in employer sanctions to take away the notion that employers are going to get cheap labor without some sort of penalty.
You want to come to the U.S. of A., then do it the right way. Do the paperwork and wait in line like anybody else. Don't cross my wall. When you cross my wall, that means you're breaking into my house, and I'm not going to feed you. I'm not going to educate you. I'm not going to pay your medical bills. I'm going to get you and I'm going to kick you out of my house.
The Tea Party has always been about fiscal responsibility and limiting the size of government. So why is the movement getting involved with the illegal immigration issue?
Well, it's actually really easy to put the two together because illegal immigration, obviously there's a crime element, but there's a huge fiscal element as well. And because I negotiated budgets at the state, I saw how much taxpayer money is funneling into taking care of this problem at the state level. And the federal government doesn't give us money to pay for it, but they also don't enforce their laws. And that's how illegal immigration from the state level becomes a Tea Party issue.
I think they want people in Washington to listen to the voters. There's so many Americans that want the border secured first, and then we can talk about what to do after that. And the Tea Party movement is about making sure that Washington listens to the voters.
The people in Washington view this as a political problem to be managed instead of seeing it for what it really is: a national security threat, an economic security threat, and an invasion that must be stopped. And there are fiscal questions very much woven into this.
It's kind of a states' rights issue, but it's also just a fiscal issue, and we're not going to bankrupt our state so that the federal government continue to ignore the law.
Originally, T stood for taxed enough already. But when it comes to our border and the real crime wave and the personal threats that Americans living here close to the border faced, we could actually say T represents terrorized enough already. And so this is very personal, and it is national in scope, and ultimately it is financial too, because we are seeing trillions of dollars poured out to benefit people who are not United States citizens.
We have to keep pounding this drum long after the press moves on to the next big story. This has got to stay first and foremost because it's a national security issue. We just can't ignore it anymore in America.
This is our state. This is our country. Why are we allowing an invasion?